welcome to all. I would like to invite our eminent speaker, Dr. Shailja Jain ma'am, and all the guest panelists, Dr. Sangeeta Srivastav ma'am, Dr. Preeti Dave ma'am, R.D. Sheila Krishnaswamy ma'am, Dr. Pushpa Bharti ma'am, and our very own Dr. Uttam Sharma sir, coordinator of Sri Vaishnav Institute of Home Science, and Dr. Dipali ma'am, assistant professor in Food and Nutrition Department. With them, all the other Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya faculties, attendees, participants, and students. As Jack LaLanne said, exercise is king, nutrition is queen. Put them together and you have the kingdom. With these words, I would like to introduce myself. I am Shubhangi Palavat, student of BSc Food and Nutrition, third semester. I would also like to add that I am also a baker by profession and running my own bakery by the name of Soul Oven. On this fifth day of National Nutrition Week celebration 2021, I'm glad and I would like to welcome you all for a lecture series cum quiz competition. Today is 5th of September, and before proceeding with the session, I would like to chant a Sanskrit shloka on this auspicious occasion of Teachers' Day. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guru De Namaha. I would like to start by wishing from the bottom of my heart to all the respected teachers a very happy Teachers' Day. It is because of your hard work and dedication that we as students learn and grow into a better person every day. I would like to thank all the teachers for always standing with us as our supportive pillar and correcting our numerous mistakes. A teacher spends their entire life teaching students, directing them in the right direction, and shaping their future as a responsible citizen. To mark their hard work towards teaching and honoring them with appreciation, Teachers' Day is celebrated on 5th of September, which is also the birth anniversary of the great teacher Dr. Sarvapillai Radhakrishnan, who was a strong believer in education, the first Vice President of India and the second President of India, and above all, a great teacher. Lastly, on behalf of everyone present here, I would like to thank all our teachers for playing the prime role model and guiding us throughout our lives. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Dipali Saxena ma'am to introduce our eminent speaker, Dr. Shailja Jain ma'am.
Thank you, Shubhangi. First of all, happy Teachers' Day, all the mute speakers, teachers, faculty members of SWV, guest attendees, and my dear students. Thank you all. With you, I am here. Now, I would like to cite about today eminent speaker, Professor Shailja Jain. Professor Shailja Jain, ma'am, is PhD in nutrition. Presently, Jan ma'am is the professor of Home Science Department, Government. Thus, ma'am is also an ex-dean of Faculty of Home Science in Jivaji University, Gwalior. About 26 students were awarded PhD under ma'am's supervision, including me. Ma'am is also a life member of Indian Dietetics Association and Nutrition Society of India. Jan ma'am published several research papers in national as well as international journals. Ma'am is also in Basic Nutrition and Physiology, published by Hindi Granth Academy, Bhopal. Also, external subject expert in general, Shodh Dhara. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am. Jan, ma'am.
Ma'am, I think your mic is muted.
What?
Yes,
Yeah. Voice is audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Dipali. So, good morning, everyone. And I am very sorry for inconvenience. First of all, I would like to thank to VC of Vaishnav Institute, Dr. Dhar, Dr. Madam Dhar, Dr. Sharma, to give me the opportunity in this lecture series. And I am proud of Dipali Saxena being my student. and she is conducting very nicely this lecture series. And really, I am very happy to learn about this nutrition and all by Dr. Sangeeta Srivastava, Dr. Preeti Hundai, and Preeti Dave ma'am, Dr. Tripathi sir, and madam. I think I don't know the name. I am feeling very nervous. So, Madam Bharti, I'm also very grateful to you for your suggestions in all the lectures. Okay. So, my topic is not very good or very interesting, but still it is in the need of the series because the children are our future of any country. So, I would like to start my views on malnutrition. Like next with us slideshow, please. Like nutrition signifies a dynamic process in which the food that consumed utilized for nourishing the body. It is very well known factor. And the balanced diet, we heard about traditional diet by Preeti Dave. So the balanced diet means the optimal amount of such each nutrient, either macro and micro. It leads to the good nutritional status, and the malnutrition is just adverse to the good health. It refers to excess, deficiency, or imbalance in each nutrient. It addresses three broad group of conditions like undernutrition, micronutrient related deficiencies or malnutrition, and overweight. So the undernutrition, as we all know about this, the wasting, stunting, underweight, all are the indicators of malnutrition. Stunting and wasting, these all are due to the lack of nutrients and the imbalance of nutrients, and we can say the long term of nutritional deprivation. And naturally the consequences of these all wasting, stunting, and underweight are the delayed mental development, poor performance in each and every field, reduced intellectual capacity, and in turns this affects the economic productivity at national level, and contributing to intergenerational cycle of malnutrition. If mother is malnourished or stunted or dwarf, then the child will be she deliver low birth baby or low birth weight child, and ultimately he has also become adult with retarded growth and development. So this cycle, which is a cycle of malnutrition, may be continued. Micronutrient related malnutrition is the deficiency or excess of vitamins and minerals. As we all know about, the vitamins and minerals are our protective food. So for our protection of our body, our minerals and vitamins are very much required in optimum amount. So if the deficiency or excess of vitamin and mineral, so it leads to malnutrition, and different signs and symptoms may be appear in our body. So the overweight or this overweight leads to the obesity, and due to the obesity there are so many non-communicable diseases like diabetes mellitus, cardiovascular disease, and cancer, as well as osteoarthritis. Next. So the prevalence of child malnutrition is a problem, and the child malnutrition is a chronic problem, and it is a hidden epidemic that affects more and more children every year, and its rate in India and developing country is very high. Every day, more than 6,000 children below the age of 5 die in India, and more than half are caused by malnutrition, especially micronutrient malnutrition like vitamin A, zinc, iodine, copper, and all. So one of the national recent studies shows about 57% of preschoolers have subclinical vitamin A deficiency, and anemia prevalence is also high. It was the 69%, and 6.6 million children are born mentally impaired due to the iodine deficiency. Iodine is also very each these micronutrient very much required for the pregnant lady as well as for the fetus. zero point 0.2 million babies are born with neural tube defects due to the folic acid deficiency. So the first national health National Family Health Survey reported that more than half the children under age 4 were underweight and stunted. 1 in every 6 children was wasted. So the fourth round also, National Family Health Survey found that prevalence of underweight, stunted and wasted children under 5 was at 35.7%, 38.4%, and 21.2% respectively. Fifth National Family Health Survey also showed similar trends. Means there is no improvement in this micronutrient deficiencies or malnutrition related to micronutrient deficiency. Next. These are the all we knows: the reduced appetite, increased fatigability and weakness, listlessness, and the slow recovery rate, and weak immunity, poor concentration. All are the simple symptoms of the malnutrition. And the causes we all know, that the improper diet, poverty, lack of funds, and the irresponsible caregiver are also the causes of the malnutrition. Weak digestive system. Due to the weak digestive system, children are not able to retain nutrients from the diets, so it results in the malnutrition. The other conditions like chronic disease, allergy, liver disease, and cystic fibrosis reduces the absorption of the nutrient in the gut. So the certain genetic disorder like gluten intolerance, lactose intolerance, and some other disorder, which are the inborn error of metabolism, that reduce the ability to process nutrients in our body. So ultimately the reduced immunity is also the causes of the malnutrition. Socioeconomic factors are very much responsible for the malnutrition in children, especially gender inequality in India. Low nutrition education level, simple education level, sanitation, water sanitation, as well as food sanitation. These all are the causes of malnutrition. Next. So we come to this PEM. All of us know about the PEM, protein energy malnutrition. It is the protein and energy is deficient in the diet, and it is the nutritional disorder. Kwashiorkor, marasmus, and marasmic kwashiorkor are the types of the protein energy malnutrition. Next. Underweight, stunting, and wasting are the main symptoms of kwashiorkor. So mostly the children between the age of 1 to 3, when they are completely weaned and not get the proper nutrients, so they become they show the kwashiorkor symptoms like edema, growth failure, mental changes. Next, simultaneously hair changes, skin changes, poor growth, all are visible in kwashiorkor patient. So if we want to treat this kwashiorkor, we have to focus on the diet and diet planning. Next, marasmus is also next. There are some these are the types of malnutrition in children, like muscle wasting is marasmic children, pot belly, moon face, edema on legs are the symptoms of the kwashiorkor. Next. So marasmus is also seen in the children age group of 1 or 2 years. So marasmic children are weak, and they don't have energy even to cry, and they are barely audible. The child is extremely wasted with very little subcutaneous fat, with the skin hanging loosely, particularly over the buttocks. Edema is absent, as in kwashiorkor. So frequent diarrheal episodes are leading to dehydration and micronutrient deficiency in marasmic child. Next. In micronutrient as well as B complex deficiencies are also seen in marasmic child. Next, there is marasmic kwashiorkor are in between marasmus and kwashiorkor. So the children with marasmic kwashiorkor showed both the signs of kwashiorkor as well as marasmus. Next. Some biochemical changes are also we can see in the protein energy malnutrition child. So the serum albumin in marasmic child, it is slightly decreased, but in kwashiorkor, it is very low. The same with urinary urea per gram of the creatinine. It is also low in kwashiorkor. Urinary hydroxyproline index is also very low. In both the cases, serum-free amino acid ratio is elevated in kwashiorkor. So anemia is present in kwashiorkor, but not in marasmus. Sometimes it may be observed. So reduced enzymatic activity because of protein is deficient. So the pancreatic enzyme activity is reduced. So the digestion problem is also because of the pancreatic enzyme are deficient in the system of marasmic and kwashiorkor child. Next. So diet is the main treatment, and the treatment, definitely we know about the proteins, that high biological value protein and the good absorbable protein should be provided to the children in adequate amount and quality and quantity both. So these are uh, the caretaker will decide how to plan the diets for the kwashiorkor and marasmic children, because the absorption is also impaired in these children. So we have to very carefully plan the diet. So the vitamin and minerals are also required to supplement on the children as per their demands. So iron and folic acid also may be given to reduce or to combat the anemia. Next. So diet plan should be considered by the dietitian or in the physician. So we should be very careful in giving the diet. Otherwise, instead of treating PEM, we can give the not proper dose, and the malnutrition will lead to the death. So the oral dehydration is also very necessary, because diarrheal episodes are very prompt in PEM. So for this, we can use the ORS solution, either homemade or the commercial formula. So intravenous fluid is only required when the severe dehydration is there. Otherwise, we can correct it by oral dehydration solutions. So the control of infection and infestation both are necessary. For this proper antibiotic under the guidance of doctor, we should start to the children. Next. So there are so many supplementary feeding programs are running in our India. Nowadays, ICDS is the main program. Okay? So the food supplementation program are very important role in combating malnutrition. So these are the supplementary programs, and they provide supplements to the children, especially 1 to 6 years of the age. So National Nutrition Program, nutrition support of primary education, like midday meal program is a very important program in our India. So special nutrition program, Pradhan Mantri Gramodyog Yojana, Balwadi feeding, ICDS, composite nutrition program, applied nutrition program, they all are running in India. So next. So I should not go in detail about these programs. All the students and we all know about the program, but main thing is the implementation and monitoring. So midday meal program is also very important program, and it is running since 1995. But objectives are not particularly fulfilled in India. Next. Next. Special nutrition program, Pradhan Mantri Gramodyog Yojana, the all are the supplementary feeding programs. Next. Balwadi feeding program, it is also very important program and special nutrient program, but it is not in operation. But ICDS, Integrated Child Development Program, is in operation, and it is run by the Anganwadi workers and Asha workers. Next. Composite nutrition program was also feeding program, and the main aim of this program is the nutrition education through Mahila Mandal, encouragement of economic activities, strengthening the supervisory machinery, training and of associate women worker, and demonstrating feeding. So, but implementation and monitoring of this program is also required. Next. Next. Applied nutrition program, Okay, so these all are the programs which are feeding and supplementary programs, and they are very effective in combating malnutrition, but proper monitoring and implementation is required. Next, so mineral and vitamins are the micronutrients which are protective foods, and so many vitamins and minerals are there. Next, A, D, E, K, and the major and trace elements all are required in our diet. So the vitamin A, all of us know about it. The yellow and orange vegetable foods are rich in vitamin A, and plant sources are found in the form of beta carotene, which is converted to vitamin A in our intestine. It is also good for the growth as well as vision, healthy skin, and maintenance the bone, teeth, and structure. Okay, if it is deficient, there are signs and symptoms of the night blindness, hair changes, skin changes, dermatitis, and sometimes if it is in excess, it may damage the brain and may birth defects if it is deficient in mothers. Next, so deficiency of vitamin A may lead to celiac disease due to the because sprue or celiac disease, it is the genetic disorder. Crohn disease and pancreatic disorder may also lead due to the vitamin A deficiency. Next. So we all know about the food rich in vitamin A and all nutrients. So leafy vegetable we should add in our diets as an antioxidant and all. And dairy, eggs, liver are also should be added in the diet of the children. Next. Vitamin D is very well known anti-rickety vitamin, and it is essential for the building and maintaining bone and teeth health, responsible for the absorption and utilization of calcium. And if calcium is plenty of in our diet, but vitamin D is deficient, so we should not absorb calcium properly. So the health benefits, it also boosts immunity, it protect our bones health, and also protection from the cancers of the bone. So it deficiency in children shows like the rickets. Rickets is the main kind of deficiency symptom in children. Next, so in rickets, the bone deformities, pigeon chests are seen in the children. So osteomalacia and osteoporosis are the adult deficiencies, which are I'm not going to take. We all know about the osteoporosis and osteomalacia. Next. So definitely getting vitamin D. So we have to add fortified milk, tuna, salmon if we are non-vegetarian, and we have to supplement vitamin D, and daily sun rays are required for the formation of vitamin D in our skin. Next, vitamin E. Vitamin E is known as the anti-fertility, but it is a very good antioxidant. So it prevents the heart disease, and it is the protective role of the heart in reduction of atherosclerosis, and it reduces the cancer, and it also boosts immune system. Vitamin E also play the role in delaying the advancement of Alzheimer's disease, but in later ages. Toxicity sometimes also seen of vitamin E toxicity. Next, so vitamin K, anti-hemorrhagic vitamin. So it is important for blood clotting. If there is deficiency of vitamin K, so there is severe hemorrhage and it may lead to the death. So it is manifested itself by the production of the hemorrhagic disease in newborns, post-operative bleeding, and in some cases nose bleeding, internal hemorrhage. So we have to add vitamin K in our diets. Next, all of us know about the vitamin water soluble vitamins B and C. So B complex includes next B1, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, inositol, and all. Thiamine thiamine deficiency leads to infantile beriberi. In adults also there is beriberi, but we are discussing the malnutrition in children. So it converts. Main role of thiamine is the conversion of carbohydrate to energy. So deficiency, if general deficiency, we can see the fatigue, nausea, depression, nervous damage due to the thiamine. Okay, so infantile beriberi occurs when the human milk fed infants whose nursing mother is deficient. So the deficiency comes to the fetus and children. So they show the signs of the infantile beriberi. Again, it is two types, like wet, the cardiovascular type. It affects the heart and heart muscles and its functioning. And if it is not cured, it may lead to coma and ultimately death. Then the neurotic type, dry beriberi, infantile beriberi. So it is known as the cerebral beriberi, and there is impairment of the formation of myelin sheath. So it also affects the nervous system and shows the symptoms like numbness and all. So we have to add vitamin B1 or thiamine in our diet, an excessive amount, because there is no storage of B1 in the body. Next, riboflavin, riboflavin B2. It is also very good or protective vitamin which is required in our body. It is work as the coenzyme. FMN and FAD are the two form of coenzyme which works for the metabolism. So deficiency of vitamin B2, we can see the dry skin, scaly skin, angular stomatitis, chillosis, and glossitis. So we can add B complex and food in our diet. Next, niacin B3. It is also the B complex vitamin, and it is involved in the production of energy from macronutrients, and it also works as the coenzyme NAD and NADP. Also help with skin, nervous, and digestive system. Its deficiency known as the pellagra or 4D disease. First of all, diarrhea, diabetes, dementia, and if we cannot treat the symptoms, so ultimately death may be results as the malnutrition. Okay, so we have to add the supplements as well as food, proper food, whole grains, and liver, polished rice in our diet. Next. Pyridoxine B6 is also very important vitamin. So it involved in the chemical reaction of protein and amino acids. Deficiency may be due to its deficiency changes the skin, dementia, nervous system disorder, and anemia. So again, for the treating this B6 pyridoxine deficiency, we have to add supplements as well as proper diet in our dietary plan. Next, cobalamin B12, it leads to the deficiency leading pernicious anemia. So even nervous system disorder are also seen in the deficiency of cobalamin or B12. Sometimes there is deficiency of intrinsic factor which interfere in the absorption of B12. Then also it leads to the B12 deficiency. So we have to add, especially vegetarians are very much deficient in B12. So we have to take the supplements, proper milk, milk products, meat, fish, poultry in our diet. Next, folic acid. So again, it is folic acid deficiency, neural tube defects. It is key role in the blood formation, RBC formation, anemia, digestive disorder may be seen in the folic acid deficiency. Next, pantothenic acid and biotin are also important for the formation of some hormones, and its deficiency is rare, but sometimes biotin binding protein or some biotin binding proteins are there, then the deficiency will be seen in the children as well as in adults. Next, pantothenic acid or biotin, both are the important vitamins. Next, vitamin C. All of us know about the vitamin C. In COVID-19, we used to use this vitamin C, citrus food, amla, and all vegetables to take the vitamin C and improve our immunity. So it is also important to bone health, blood vessel health, cell structure, and absorption of iron. If proper amount of iron is there, but vitamin C is deficient, then we can see the symptoms or consequences of the anemia. So scurvy is the main deficiency disease due to the vitamin C. So in this, there is collagen deformation, bone deformities. Even this scurvy leads to the swollen gums, loose teeth, and infection. Infection rate is very high in vitamin C deficient children as well as adults. There is symptoms of weakness, lethargy, common cold, painful joints due to the vitamin C deficiency. All of us know about the sources of vitamin C, so I am not going for it. Okay, next. Sodium in minerals. Sodium is very important. It maintains our fluid balance, transmit, or it is very useful for the transmission of the nerve impulse. And if it is in excess, that we can see the edema and this hypertension. So deficiency, hyponatremia. So in our blood or serum, the level of sodium is very less, below the 125 milligram. And in general, if there is deficiency of sodium, the nausea, headache, vomiting, weakness, dullness, we can see. So the sodium is very important, and excess of sodium is harmful. So whenever we take any supplement or food, packaged food, so we have to go for the level. Next. Calcium is a very important mineral for the bone health. So for the absorption of calcium, vitamin D is required, and ricket is the manifestation of vitamin D as well as calcium deficiency. So joint pain, फिर bleeding rib, फिर आपका beaded ribs are the main symptoms of calcium deficiency and deformity. So teeth are also proper mineralization is not seen in the deficiency of calcium is in blood. Next. So we have to add so many calcium rich food in our diet, and we can take the fortified juice, milk, broccoli, and salmon, and some other sources in appropriate amount. Next. So iron is a very important trace element, and its deficiency lead to anemia. So 70% of our body is 70% of iron in our body is as hemoglobin. Even if protein is deficient or iron is deficient, there is deficiency of hemoglobin, and we suffer from anemia. Okay, so the anemic condition. So again, the children feel lethargic, short of breath, and due to anemia, they are not capable of doing very well, and respiratory problem and so on. So the heme iron found in animal foods, and the non-heme iron found in the plant products. Next. We can use iron utensils for iron retention with vitamin C. So iodine is also the trace element, and about 1/3 of iodine in adult body is 25 to 50 gram found in the thyroid gland. If iodine is deficient in a pregnant lady, so the fetus is also not made proper thyroxine level. So the growth and maintenance is not proper in iodine deficient children. And the goiter means the enlargement of the thyroid gland. It is seen if iodine deficiency in the diet, because the thyroid gland cannot produce much of thyroxine, so it become enlarged. So iodine deficiency is very dangerous. Okay. Next. Creatinism is one of the symptoms or sign of the iodine deficiency in children. So physical deformity, dwarfism, and mental retardation seen in children in early age as well as in the later age, 6 to 7 years. Hypo and hyperthyroidism are also the malnutrition symptoms of the iodine deficiency. Next. Copper is also very important mineral, and it is also the part of the antioxidant enzyme superoxide dismutase. So due to the copper deficiency, there may be the symptoms of anemia. Both copper and iron are related to hemoglobin production and energy production. So we have to add copper in our diet. Like Madam Dave told, that copper utensils are used to reach out the copper, and we can, without having any diet, we can take the copper from our utensils. Next. So deficiency of copper occurs who supplement with zinc. Zinc is also a good micronutrient, but if we are having zinc, so zinc hinders the copper absorption. So we have to be careful if we are taking zinc. So copper deficiency should not be there. Copper deficiency is very uncommon, but it may cause anemia and drop the HDL cholesterol, which is very necessary. Vitamin C supplementation also sometimes impair the copper metabolism. So we have to cautious about copper deficiency if we are taking vitamin C. Next. So lastly, these are the malnutrition symptoms, deficiency of macro and micronutrients. So the main important point is how to eradicate malnutrition from India and from all over the world. So the WHO aims for world free from all forms of malnutrition. So the UN Assembly in April 2016, it proclaimed 2016 and 2025 the decade of action of nutrition. So it calls the policy action in 6 areas. FAO and WHO both led this policy making. Okay, so 6 areas are creating sustainable food system for healthy diets. Definitely, healthy diet is very important to combating malnutrition. Providing social protection, nutrition education for all, aligning healthy system to nutrition needs, and providing universal coverage of nutrition intervention, ensuring the trade and investment policies to improve nutrition, building safe and supportive environment for nutrition of all age groups. Children are very important. 2 years of life are very important for nutrient intake, but all age group should be included in this nutrition policy. Strengthening and promoting nutrition governance and accountability. So lastly, I can say these are the measures which government are taking, but at our level, grassroots level, we have to support NGOs, dietitian, nutritionist, made some NGOs which can promote like new food product development rich in micronutrient, macronutrients. These are low cost, so we can donate these NGOs to for promoting diets for children which are easily accessible. Students can work as the volunteer, so they can impart the nutrition education. They can plan nutritious diet which are low cost. They give the knowledge, and they can change the attitude and start practicing good nutrition supplement through diet. And they can educate mothers, and they can impart nutrition education, and they can give valuable suggestion for the diet planning. Like leaf protein concentrate is very good source of proteins, and it can combat PEM very easily. Like some like bathua, radish, methi leaves, they are very less in protein quantity, but their concentrates are rich in iron, micronutrients as well as proteins. So we can use this leaf protein concentrate for many supplement, for fortification of many traditional diets. So leaf protein is very cost-effective measures to combat malnutrition. Health worker may also play important role in combating malnutrition, so they can plan the program, policies, and implementation and monitoring and evaluation. So it may all help in eradicating malnutrition from our country. So this health worker also help in implementation and monitoring in these nutritional rehabilitation programs, ICDs programs, and all. So I think if we nutritionists, we all students work as the community health worker, so we can eradicate malnutrition, but need is that we have to devote it in this direction. So thank you. So next.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, Shubhangi.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
ma'am.
question, please. Yes. Yes, Shubhangi.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your knowledge and enlightenment on malnutrition. With your permission, I would like to take questions from participants.
Yes.
They can place their questions in chat box. Over to you, Dipali ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, Shubhangi, ma'am, someone is asking, chewing of clothes and other non-edible material to children under age below 3 years a sign of malnutrition?
It is psychologically affect the children and not sign of malnutrition. No, chewing clothes is not, it is related to deficient affection, and they want to attract attention of mothers and other peoples. Or sometimes maybe that chewing clothes is not, I think Dr. Bharati can enlighten on this. I think she is very good in nutrition. I think chewing clothes is not the sign of malnutrition. It is due to the attention seeking behavior and psychological behavior. I think so. Madam Bharti, I need
Yeah.
your... Yes.
Yeah. No, Dr. Shailaja, what you said is correct. Chewing clothes is more of a psychology. They feel
Yes.
insecure.
Yes.
Insecurity, I feel. But eating of chalk piece and such things, no, that is the deficiency of
Calcium and all. Yes.
especially calcium.
Calcium. Yes.
Calcium and all.
Hmm.
Yeah. It was very nice presentation, Dr. Shailaja. It was we teach for the whole semester, and
Yes.
the whole thing you have compiled and presented in 1 hour. That's really great. Like, you could compile everything nicely. But one thing I just want to bring to the notice of everyone here,
Yes.
all those programs what you mentioned earlier,
Yes.
now they have all been wrapped under the umbrella of National Nutrition Policy.
Yes. Yes.
So, National Nutrition Policy is it covers everything, which is
Everything.
yeah, right. It is implemented in 1993 onwards.
See,
So
yes.
all these long-term strategies, short-term strategies, everything comes under that program.
Yes.
So that is one thing. And secondly, with regarding the iron, what you spoke about, the iron vessels can be used for cooking and all. So this, we have also done some research on this. The iron which is used, that is called contaminant iron, which leaches into the food from the vessels.
Yes.
This contaminant iron is bioavailable.
Yes.
So we have found that it is available. So it increases the iron content and bioavailability to a great extent.
Yes.
So the traditional practices, again, we will go back to traditional practices of cooking in iron vessels,
Yes.
kadai and all.
Hola.
That is a good practice. We can, I want to say that it is a good practice.
Yes.
So that is one
And-
thing. And yeah.
We can
Second-
add this drumstick. It is very cheap source of many micronutrients as well
Correct.
as fibers. So
Correct,
in each and
correct.
every diet, we can include every part of drumstick, either flowers, leaves, and fruits, all.
Yeah.
We can dry it also, and it is very good constipation reliever, even heart even I think in USA, one of our colleagues sent this drumstick leaf as the constipation reliever or heart healthy tea, green tea.
Okay. Huh.
So it is very useful. So if
Hmm.
we start this giving the knowledge of these leaves to add in our diet, so I think malnutrition may be eradicated.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is cheap also.
Yes, it is cheap
Drumstick
and
leaves
cost
are
effective.
very cheap,
Yes,
and
yes,
the trees can be grown in the backyard also.
yes,
So
yes.
the leaves especially are called miracle leaves.
Yes,
They
it is
have
miracle, but
everything,
it is wasted
everything.
in our even in our Gwalior. It is wasted. I have
Okay.
seen they
Hmm.
dried up and but nobody picked them and use
Hmm.
it. So it is
Okay.
a duty of our students as well as ours ki we should get awareness this miracle leaves.
Right, right. Okay.
Can I ask a question,
Yes,
please?
yes.
Yeah, very nice presentation, Shailaja.
Oh,
Congratulations on
I
that.
am not very much satisfied, but thank you so much.
All right, my question to you is: when you talked about calcium, you mentioned fortified orange juice as one of the sources.
Yes.
But I don't think we have fortified orange juice, calcium fortified orange juice available in India. So I think if you can,
Milk.
give
Yeah.
other foods like Pushpa probably knows better than I do about ragi.
Yes, ragi is
Is a
very good
great,
source.
yeah, ragi is
Ragi.
a
Very
very
good.
high source of calcium. Although I don't
Hmm.
know how much of it is bioavailable, but
Hmm.
I think ragi is a great source of calcium.
Yes, and
And
till is also till,
sorry,
till
yes.
isn't
Yes,
it's
I
also very
think
good source of
right. So almonds also are a great source of calcium.
calcium. Yeah.
Sesame seeds, that is still, is a
Calcium.
great source of calcium.
Calcium.
Ragi is a great source of calcium. Of
Yeah.
course, dark green leafy vegetables and all of that we already know.
Yeah.
And you already mentioned a few things, but I was just wondering if fortified orange juice is available. And as far as I know, it's not
No,
available in
it's not
India.
available. Not
Okay.
available.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So I just
Yeah.
want to clarify that
I
point.
also
Sorry.
heard about fortified milk, but once I saw this, so I have mentioned this. Ki may be available. Okay.
I don't think it's available. At least I
Yeah.
haven't seen it, in the cities that I
But
have
it's
visited. So I don't know. Maybe the others can throw some light on this. Yeah, Preeti,
could
you're
be
back.
because orange juice is like very
Yes.
widely calcium fortified, and rest of like in US it's very common practice. So you will always
Yeah,
find.
so in the US, Canada, Australia, and developed countries, we have seen it, but in India, I have not seen it. So
India
I
is
was
Yeah.
wondering if others know where it's available. I'll be very happy to, tell the patients.
No, but
Yeah.
calcium is very abundant in our milk and
Yes,
milk products, and also no need
Yeah. If
to
right.
take
We don't need
orange.
calcium
Orange
fortified
very
orange juice
calcium.
anyway.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is useless.
if you're doing like the milk, then that is going to provide you up to 30% per glass, right? So
Yes,
if you're making
yes,
2 cups, your 60% comes right from there, and the
yes,
rest some can be fulfilled from the green leafy millets and all rest of
yes,
the eating. So I believe,
Yeah.
and that comes the protein, come calcium, comes like
yes.
more calories too. So I think it will become very versatile and preferably to let the children have, right? So I would
Right.
if there, because nowadays what I would see that there's a milk phobia everywhere, that you should
Hmm.
not do
Hmm.
daily and that, but then we need to put these kind of priorities above other things. So that
Yes.
I'm very much looking forward for Sheila's presentation tomorrow, because these are the
Yes.
things we need to come up that something could be good for you or not good for you. Is it right for you? It depends, right? So there's so many different factors. But in children, I would point out that milk could be such a crucial part of their daily regime, and I
Yes.
would like to snatch this fear away from the society. Actually,
Yes. And if
But-
lactose intolerance is there, so we can use the soya milk, almond milk, coconut milk, or even groundnut milk. So it is also very good source of proteins in children diet if lactose intolerance
Ma-
is there. And Dipali
Madam,
got yes,
Yes,
Madam, may I submit something?
yes,
Yeah, please. Madam, as far as your presentation was really interesting, and the basics are really important when we are talking about the nutrition. We must be very clear for about our basics.
So, as far as
Yes.
Indian perspective or Indian dietary pattern and our economical condition of an average Indian is concerned, Madam, I think
Yes.
when we are talking about the calcium, we must emphasize on moringa leaves or moringa, which is a very
Yes.
nice,
Yes.
easily available, because if you see in rural condition, almost every house has this tree. So they need not to go anywhere. We just make them aware how to use these
Yes.
sources, which
Yes,
is
yes. That's why I
easily
told that
available.
the student become the volunteer
Yes,
to
yes,
educate laymen,
yes,
housewives, and adolescent. So they
yeah.
can take maximum benefit of drumstick or moringa. So it
Ma'am,
is.
another
Huh.
yeah, madam, another thing is because I am working with agriculture university, so I have quite a
Yes,
lot
yes.
exposure of Indian villages in villages of Gujarat, this area. So most of the time, the farmers are growing valuable oilseeds as a cash crop. And what they are
Yes.
doing, they are not actually utilizing them, and they are selling them out. And
Yes.
most
So
of
that's the
our
source of
Indian,
living.
yes,
Yes.
for the so and this cash crop or oil seeds are being used only for the oil extraction purpose. So
Okay.
earlier, even in Gujarat, we have a very nice tradition of having groundnuts and sesame seeds in our daily diet. But
Yes.
nowadays, it is lacking, right? So if
Yeah.
we just emphasize on consumption of a handful of nuts, which are available
Yes,
at our
take care.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
So it is,
Definitely.
ma'am, very cheap for the general public who are living in the village area. It is very cheap because it is available at their own farm. So why not
Yes.
we, instead of fortified some fruit juice or something which is out of
Yes.
the reach of the general public, why don't we
Absolutely.
yeah, promote this kind of food and we make them aware? The third thing which I would like to submit is, Madam, I just forgot the point which you were last talking about, you and Sheila, Madam. I just forgot that point. Calcium and
Orange.
what
Calcium
was that?
fortified juice.
Uh,
Orange juice.
Fortified
Calcium
Orange
juice,
juice
and
fortified.
then
fortified with calcium is not available in India.
yes,
We're
yes.
talking
So
about that. There are
yes,
so
and
many good sources of calcium, so we can get the knowledge of mothers or students, volunteer NGOs of
yes.
dietitians. We can
Ma'am,
very
another
understand.
thing I would like, yes, that was the almond milk and coconut milk. Maybe in the southern part coconut milk is very common, but I think again almond milk, even I am not consuming any kind of almond milk or something. So groundnut milk is a very good option. Even soya
Yes,
bean is not
soya
consumed
bean.
throughout the India because it is
Yes,
not
but groundnut is
acceptable
good.
due to the
Yes,
taste. And
yes,
so I think why don't we promote groundnut milk? Madam,
yes,
in my PhD, I have prepared some probiotic products and curds and paneer from groundnut milk. So I think that is the best thing we can promote,
yes,
and it is still
yes.
underutilized.
Yes. Even I have also told my students to use this groundnut instead of milk as a low cost recipes, like for probiotics, for curd, for paneer, and it is very good in taste.
Correct.
So these
Correct.
low cost food product we can promote, and some of the students can patent it also. So like one of my students got work on the leaf protein concentrate, bathua and radish leaf. So she is compared with casein, and results are better with this leaf protein concentrate. He worked on these rats long before. So, and it is very good for anemia control also, because iron is also very rich, iron and proteins. And leaf protein, bathua, radish are the wastage with this all.
Yeah.
So we can use as a protein sources these leaf proteins.
I
So
think
There
Dipali,
are a
you
lot
should
of
take
questions in
more
the chat box, Sally.
attendees. I'm seeing more attendees. I think let's answer them. They deserve the
Thank
answer
you.
before we discuss.
Shubhangi, take the questions of participants.
Yes,
Shubhangi.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one person is asking why mushroom is ignored in India, and can it eradicate malnutrition?
yes, it is single cell protein, and some that's why some people avoid these mushrooms. These are algae or fungi. So, but it is single cell protein and it is very good for eradicating malnutrition. We can use mushrooms in our diet, but it is not very cheap in our India. So we can grow mushrooms at our places, at our farms, so we can eradicate malnutrition. It is also helpful in eradicating malnutrition. Good source of single cell protein.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one more person is asking, is stunting acute malnutrition?
No, it is not acute malnutrition. It is the chronic malnutrition.
Yes.
Yes.
Ma'am, one person is asking, processed food has lots of preservatives. What can we say about the health of human being about that? Because we consume that for fortified products, but then it also have lots of preservatives.
Yes. So definitely natural foods are better than the processed food. But especially in India, everything is available. So we can use, instead of fortified, we can go for the natural sources of micronutrient and protein and all. So it is better choice, natural foods. Yes.
Yes. I think, do anybody else has any other questions?
Yeah, there are two more questions I can see, Shubhangi. One is about Shama Ismail says child is 14 years, something like that. And then there's an Aishwarya Patel who asks about vitamin D.
Ma'am, that I think is answered by.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
So another question is, child age is 14. Her child's age is 14 and height is 5'4", and the weight is 72. So is he overweight or excess in nutrient, or
We
does
find out
that
BMI.
The BMI, yes, height and weight
Yes.
and BMI. So I think BMI and other physical symptoms are the best indicator. Either he has muscle mass or fatty mass. Consider on that also. And he is active. There is no clinical symptoms, no fatigue, no all. So we can't say he is overweight. But if the fat is there, so we can identify this through BMI. Okay.
Any
And
other question? Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Any other
Yes,
question
ma'am.
from the participant? So you can unmute your mic or switch on the camera.
Ma'am, I have one thing to add on this. The last question that 14 years, 5'4",
Yeah.
5'4" child. In that, can we say that the bone mass or bone density is also
Bone
one of the
density. Yes.
factor with
Yes.
whether
Yes.
the child is obese or not?
Yes. Sometimes bone density is also very important. Some bones are very heavy, so that's I told that physical symptoms, clinical symptoms, and signs, or fat mass, lean body mass, which is much. If fat is
आप
much,
किधर
then it
हैं
is
अभी?
overweight.
Ma'am, one more question. Can everyone have iodized salt?
Yes. Iodized salt is good, but nowadays that Senda Namak and all are in trend to lower the risk of hypertension. So iodized salt is good to remove the deficiency of iodine.
I think somebody raised the hand actually. Chayana Negua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on the biological value of thyroid, if the person is suffering from hypothyroidism,
Yes.
so can anyone have iodized salt at home? Can everyone have iodized salt at home?
Okay. First of all, iodized salt in the limits, or not in excess, and you should avoid the goitrogenic foods which affect the thyroid gland, like cruciferous vegetables, shalgam, cabbage, even turnips, and this onions. So you should avoid it because sometimes iodine is also present in that also.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
One
Yes, someone is
person,
asking is
has raised
raising her
her
hand.
hand.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, sir, please. You can unmute your mic and ask the question. I think by default.
Hello.
Yes,
Can you
sir,
hear me?
please. Yes, sir. Please
Yeah.
introduce
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. My name is Chai Ngua from Kenya.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yes. So I just have a concern. Sometimes you find a child very young age, but the child is overweight, and such a situation maybe is contributed to, maybe it's genetically, maybe there's a history in the family that children have got such a problem. So can such a child or can such condition be controlled, maybe through diet or through exercise, if it is genetically contributed?
Yes, it can be controlled by exercise, by diet planning, but we have to think that if there is a genetical disorder, so up to the mark we can reduce this obesity. But childhood obesity is not good for future, and it may lead to the non-communicable diseases too, even in children's. So the regressive exercise, walking, jogging, ठीक है, or that energy balance, like energy intake should be less than the, and sorry, more than the, sorry, energy intake is less than the expenditure. Okay, so we can control this.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
But the overall, in small children, I think
Yes.
parents should be the role model, and no
Yes.
food should be like eliminated and be punished or rewarded. So it's a parent responsibility to create the surrounding where the food can be adjusted for the child need. But I will not go straight forward and tell any child to not eat this, do this. We have to
Yes.
tackle with a counseling purpose very delicately, because we don't want to create any cognitive distortions there.
Ma'am,
Very
one more
Okay.
person.
Yes. Yes.
Hello, ma'am. With addition of this, just a second. With addition of this, ma'am, Sangeeta ma'am says the parents must be a role model.
Yes.
I want to add something. My 3 years daughter doesn't take milk. In front of her, me as a mother and father take milk, but he doesn't like milk. He like mango shakes. He like banana shakes. She like curd. She like paneer, but won't take milk. She like kheer.
So okay, these are the milk
Doesn't
products.
take milk.
No problem. He's having milk.
We have no time to make something. We can take sip milk. We have no time. And take 2 biscuits. We have no time to make curd. We have no time to take banana shake. No available banana. So we are taking at night time. We both husband and wife take milk. But she never. She refused it. You should sip milk. It's healthy. We became strong. But she herself, no. We are trying our best to become a
Dipali,
role
I
model
think
for
curd is the best option.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
any dairy,
children loves
any
curd.
dairy
Because
product will do the job, right?
I'm giving
Curd is easily available. You can even easily prepare at home, and that we can add some means jaggery or some fruits in the curd bowl, so it becomes a very tasty yogurt-like
That's why
preparation.
I'm also
That is
giving in
And you-
winters too. Curd I am
Even-
giving to
no,
winters.
no, you
and
can-
I-
She likes kheer. Dipali, she likes kheer, so you can add the nuts in kheer.
Yes, ma'am.
Na,
I'm
and
doing
rounded-
this.
So you can increase the calorific value of the kheer. And as per her taste, you can give that. You can thicken the milk and give as a kheer.
But sometimes things are not happen, so we can say take milk. Yeah, milk is more strong than processed things.
Okay.
She refused it.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
But
Questions?
otherwise,
Yes,
Hello?
Protein powders. You can add protein powders.
Excuse me.
Yes.
ma'am, she has a mood. She takes protein powder supplements for 1 or 2 days. Then she don't like the taste.
Okay.
Then she must like choosy and moody combination.
Hello. Excuse me.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Chai.
Yes, I have a question. Somebody just mentioned milk, so I just remembered something that I had to ask. Now, if there's processed milk like yogurt and other products, and there's the raw. I can refer to it as fresh milk that is just boiled and you consume it. So, which one is more nutritious, or which one is better in terms of nutrition to a person?
Okay, so
The processed one like yogurt, or the fresh one?
So egg and milk both have the easily bioavailable proteins and good quality of proteins, as they have all essential amino acids. If the child is ready to take in any form, you can give it, and you can change, like in yogurt, right? It has the probiotic also, so you can give that. And boiled egg is also good, easily digestible, and high biological value too. And ma'am, Bharti ma'am, you can give your opinion.
Yeah. No, what you said is true. Milk, actually, as far as one question I just saw, hot milk has more absorption of calcium and
Yes.
things like that. I don't think it is that, but it is the other environment which matters.
Yes.
I feel like that because the presence of acid, less presence of iron, these are the things which will help in the absorption of calcium. And inhibitors, absence of inhibitors will help in the absorption of calcium. So milk as such, or yogurt, milk, all are same with regard to the bioavailability, but definitely bioavailability is better with the fermented foods.
Good. Yes.
Because of the acid present there, definitely it is much better. So even children also, you can give them lassi or
Yes.
which is sweetened, and children may like it. Buttermilk also, or any such foods can be given to the children. If they don't like milk, it can be flavored.
Flavored.
You
Yes.
can flavor it with, as Shailaja was mentioning, you can flavor it with nuts or any kind of nuts or fruits, and then you can give to the children. So that will help in the availability.
Madam, as far as milk is concerned, we have two types of economical class in our country, and I think almost everywhere. The one part is having, we can afford the milk and milk products, but their children are not accepting it. The other part,
Correct.
they don't have these things. If you will go to the tribals or very interior rural areas, they don't have sufficient milk to give the 2 or 3-year-old child. So I think at that time what they are doing, I'm talking about those economical mass, that what they are doing, they are offering tea instead of the milk to the child. So being a nutritionist, at least what we can do to maximize the absorption of other nutrients, which is they are getting from the snacks or food, at least we can make them aware not to give tea or coffee. Coffee they are not giving, but tea. Don't give tea to your children because it hinders the absorption of nutrients. I have seen these practices almost everywhere in the rural area, that they are offering tea, and along with that they are offering like methi paratha or this amaranth paratha, means they are adding leafy vegetables in the paratha and preparing thepla like products, and they are offering it with tea or muthia or any other preparation which is good in calcium as well as leafy vegetables. We have a practice in India to take it with tea, so we must make them aware, the people, because due to the anti-nutrients present in tea, it will hinder the absorption of calcium, iron, as well as all the other important nutrients.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Mausam, Rudra. Yes, ma'am, please. You're raising your hand.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, hello. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there's a question actually. A patient with celiac disease can have packet cookies or flours which are labeled gluten-free. Is it safe to buy from a reputed brands for a celiac patient?
Yes, it is safe, but in limitations, because gluten-free, so many other flours are available instead of this gluten-free. Like quinoa is very good. I think it is also gluten-free. Yeah, we can take, but in limitation. I think so.
May I add something to
Thank
that
you so
point?
much, ma'am.
Yeah, I agree with you, Shailaja, that
Yes.
gluten-free is safe for celiac disease
Yes.
people with celiac disease. But when you buy ready-made foods, please
yes.
ensure that other gluten elements are not present, because even trace amount of gluten in
Gluten.
any ready-made product can cause havoc in a person with celiac problem. So I think it's not just about the absence of wheat. It's also about a lot of other additives which are derivatives of wheat. So you have to be very, very careful when you feed a ready-to-eat product which you pick up from the supermarket and give it to your child. You have to really examine very, very carefully of what is present, what ingredients, what additives are added to that product, and only then decide whether it's fit for your child or not. I think that's very important.
It is.
Yeah.
I agree.
Amount
Because
of sugar, yes. Amount of sugar and sodium both are very important in packaged food,
Yes.
and it will be there. So we need to be cautious about that also.
Yes.
the gluten can be hidden like in the product like ketchup or some other items too.
Yes.
So I don't know how the labeling has been, but I would
Yes.
say because that's the only remedy celiac, even that is a pinch can be
Pinch of-
really, like the Sheila said. So it needs to be really cautiously monitored. I don't know how the labeling is there, but reading the label could be, if there are, but if there might not be, then certainly absolute gluten-free product and no added and packaged will be encouraged, I believe, right? So that needs to be practiced.
Yes. Deepali, you can also
Thank you,
light
ma'am.
over it, because she prepared gluten-free diets for
Gluten-free
autistic
products.
patients. Yeah, gluten-free products.
Gluten-free as well as
Oh.
casein-free products. So we formulated
Autistic.
gluten-free, casein-free noodles, biscuits, cookies in my
Oh,
PhD.
really? You are the baker too, Dipali?
No, she's
Kind
not
of.
baker, but she did PhD on this topic.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
On autistic children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Shubhangi, conclude
Yes, ma'am, there
today's
are
session.
some. Okay.
We have the time completes now. It's about 12:30. Yes.
Thank you so much, Shelja ma'am, for acknowledging all the questions. For all the participants, the quiz link and the feedback link is posted in the chat box. Please fill those. And thank you everyone for your precious time and active participation. Now we would like to meet everyone on 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. That is for the 6th lecture. And we conclude this 5th day of National Nutrition Week celebration 2021. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi and Shubhangi and my
Bye.
dear students
Bye.
for planning the today's session. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
all the experts and guests.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
Sangeeta.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Oh my God, it's midnight. I better
Yeah,
go.
good night. Sangeeta ma'am, good night.
Thank you so much. I was so tired when I had a screen off. Then I really wanted to sleep, but no, the Shelja ma'am, you kept me awake.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, thank
bye-bye.
you for all. Okay, bye.
Thank you all.